Hello viewers, how are you all? Hope so you are doing well. And secondly, I want to say you all guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to discuss here another short story that's of course taken from the series, or we may say that from the collection of tales from Frost Jabag. And that particular story is Condolence Visit. Of course, this particular story is an important short story of this collection, and it's one of my favorite story. So let's move to its characters. There are some major characters as well as there are some minor characters in the story. So there are the two major characters in the story. One is Manochar Mirza and another is Daulat. And after that there are some minor characters also. Three minor characters are there. So Manochar Mirza is actually an old person who dies due to the illness, and he has been suffering from this particular traumatic illness from a long time, and finally he is died. So the entire story revolves around him and his funeral and his death. That how he means that how the people, all the characters of the story are feeling about his death and how they are reacting to it. How her wife, Mrs. Dolat, is feeling on his death. So Daulat is actually an old woman. She is the old widow of Nurture Mirza, and she is quite disappointed, disheartened after her husband's death, and she lives in her home lonely. After that, there are some minor characters like Najamai. Najamai is actually playing the role of a neighbor here, and she is continuously disturbing Daulat by ringing at the door and giving her means unwanted advices. Then there is Sarosh. Sarosh is actually the nephew of the Daulat, who is the Canadian immigrant, and he also has bought a musical cassette for the Daulat, but she has refused his this particular gift. After that, there is the Moti. Moti is actually the cousin of the Daulat. She visits her after her husband's death. So let's start the summary of the story. The summary of the story starts with that it's the 10th day after the funeral of the Manochar Mirza, and his widow Daulat is waiting for the condolence visitors, and she is quite upset and alone at the home, and she is thinking about her husband, that how happy they were living together, but now she is living a quite sad life, and how her husband was suffering from a traumatic illness and she could not save her. But she is a little bit happier that in the final 6 days of before the death of the Manochar Mirza, he was in a little bit comforter situation, and at the same time, she and only she, Daulat, can realize that how painful it is for her to again and again repeat those means painful memories of her husband's death with all the visitors who are visiting her and asking her that what had happened to her husband, why he has died. So she is repeating those all things, and now she is alone at home and she's thinking about all these things. After that, our doorbell is rang, and when she opens the door, so there is the Najmai. She disturbs her from and takes disturbs her from the these old thinkings, and she offers Najmai offers her the glasses and her fridge and many more things, especially the chairs for the guests of the condolence visitors. But she mostly refuses her. She approximately refuses all these offerings. And at the same time, Najmai also saw the burning oil lamp beside the bed of the Manochar Mirza, and she warns her that it is not correct to burn it after the fourth day of the funeral. It will disturb the soul. So the Daulat agrees in front of the Najmai that she will put it out. But after that, Najmai also saw the elegant pagdi of Minochar Mirza, and she is imagining by herself that Daulat should not sell this particular pagdi because it's the personal belonging or personal property of her husband. When the Najmai left, So after that, Daulat is again. Daulat went back to her husband's room, and she decides to means take out all his dresses and his belongings, and she decides that these all things should be given to the needy people in the old house, as they should be utilized in a very well manners. So and she also saw the noted the pagdi at that time, and she decides that it should also be sold. So she contacts an advertiser at that time, and due to this particular advertising thing, one young man decides to buy this elegant pagdi from Daulat. So he comes to her house for buying the pagdi. Unfortunately, at the time when the Najmai and Moti, the cousin of the Daulat, both are at her home as a condolence visitors. And at that time, they both of them try their level best to pursue Daulat not to sell this particular pagdi, but both of them are failed, as she has already decided that she should sell it. So she asked several questions from the young man that will he wear this pagdi on his marriage. He answered her that yes, of course he will wear. And after that, she asked her that will his son also wear this particular pagdi. So his answer was of course yes. So that delights Daulat, and she gives him this particular pagdi without any price. After that, all the guests have left her home, and she is again lonely in her gloomy life, and she is trying to settle the dishes and all the glasses which are used by the visitors. So this particular story is having some unknown words, so it's some difficult words. So let's discuss these difficult words. One of the difficult word is dastum. Dastum is actually in accordance to the Parsi's culture or tradition. It's the 10th day of after the funeral or after the death. So 10th day means it's the name of the day after the funeral of a dead one, after the funeral of a dead one. So that particular day is named as Dastum in Parsi culture. Then there is the oxtails. Oxtail is actually a kind of the soup that is prepared by using the tail of a ox. So it's a kind of dish that is used by some people as well. So that's all from my side. Thank you.